Lytleton M Bollers was born in the colony of British Guiana and grew up in poverty and political hardship. He was the sixth of 9 children in a mixed-race family, and he attended Trinity and Agricola Methodist schools at different periods in his young life, and later followed his father and 2 brothers into construction. And he's on the line with us here just now to talk about his book, The Slippery Road. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
So, what is the book, The Slippery Road, all about?
Well, The Slippery Road tells of the first 20 years of my life growing up in a colonial country, because Guyana was under British rule at that time. And it tells of the struggles of growing up. It talks about the racial divide between the 2 main races, which were Black and East Indians, and the political struggles we had here, and the general poverty, just the struggle to survive, and the trials I faced, and overcoming hardships, especially with the help of my mom.
How did growing up in British Guiana affect your life, and I guess how you see the world?
At that time, it was rough, but generally speaking, I will say that it's made me a stronger person. It showed me that I can overcome any obstacle as long as I put my mind to it. And the book tells of all the obstacles I had to get over to be where I am today.
So what was it that prompted you to write a book about your experiences?
As a young man, I always wanted to write something about my mom. I used to get like secondhand copies of the Reader's Digest, and there was an article in there about your most unforgettable character. And I always thought I'd write something about my mom, but I kept putting it off. And then 4 years ago, after I retired and I had the time on hand, I decided I'm going to write. But then I decided to write about myself. And well, the book is based mostly on me, but it tells of the encouragements, because without my mom, I could have, I know for sure I would have gotten into trouble with the law and all that because of poverty. Because, temptation was there. And when you don't have a job, or you can't find steady work, and things are rough in the home. And then my dad died when I was 12 years old. So, my older brothers, my 2 older brothers, they had moved on with their lives. They had families of their own. So it was up to me. I was the oldest man in the house. And lots of times I was tempted to, go down the wrong path, but because of my mom, her encouragement, her belief in God, and her, encouraging me to take care, encouraging me to the better times will come, just to keep on trying. It kind of motivated me, and thank God for her.
And how did you find writing the book? Was it difficult to go back to those very early days, or did you find it quite cathartic?
It wasn't difficult at all, because certain things you don't ever forget, especially struggles in life. It tend to always be there at the back of your mind. So it wasn't very hard. And when I started thinking of one thing, and everything else started to fall into place. It took a while. I've been writing the book for almost two years. It took a while. I mean, between the writing, the editing, and publishing, it took about 2 years, but finally I got it done.
So why did it take so long?
Well, the first thing is that I never wrote anything before, and I didn't know what it was to write a book. I just decided to go to YouTube and, watch a couple of videos how to write a book, and I started from there.
And how helpful were those videos?
It gave me the basic outline about how to do things. And then I ordered Word. Somebody in one of the videos, someone said it is best to write in Word. And I decided to purchase Word, and I started from there. I didn't know much about typing. I just used 2 fingers. And the other reason it took that long is because when I Googled how many words the biography should be, this one guy, he said, just write. Don't think about the words. You just write, and when you finish writing, then you edit 3 times. So by the time I was finished writing, I had like 200 words more than, I had about almost 200 pages more than I needed. So I had to go back and start, take out parts here and there, and to get it down to, finally I got it down to, I think 18,000 words.
You migrated to the United States. So what were some of the challenges you faced during that transition?
First of all, coming to the United States was a blessing. I was the last in my family to come to the States because I didn't want to leave my country. But after things were getting from bad to worse, and my mom came over here, my sisters, and they all, they encouraged me and I decided to come. And it was really a blessing when I came. Life over here was much better. At first, I started to work in construction because that was what I did back home. But then it was during the cold period and I wasn't accustomed to the cold. So the first 3 months, it was really rough.
Yeah.
But then I heard about a job at a Grand Hyatt Hotel in New York and I applied and I got the job and I stayed there for 36 years.
Yeah. So what have been some of the most significant changes that you've observed in the United States since you arrived?
Life in general was much better than back home. I mean, back in Guyana, there were times when I was growing up, some days there weren't enough food and all that, and it was really a struggle. Like I said before, jobs were hard to find. And sometimes when I got a job, I'll work for short periods. I'll work for a few weeks, then I'll be laid off or the job will be finished, especially in construction. Then I'll have to wait around for another job, and I ended up going into the jungles in my country. When I was 16 years old, I went into the jungles to work and I worked there for about 6 months. I did like 2-3 month stints in the jungle, so it was pretty rough. So coming over here, the only problem I had with it when I first came to America was the cold. But after I became adjusted to that, it was okay. And like I said, I spent 36 years at a Hyatt, and that alone will tell you it was, I love what I did.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good job. And I have no regrets whatsoever in coming to America. It was a blessing.
Yeah. Despite being in America for so long now, do you still maintain a sense of connection to where you came from and your heritage and your background? And does it play a role in your life today?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I still have a few relatives back home and then I visit once in a while, and things have changed a bit, but not too much. The economy, well, now they have discovered oil. They've recently started pumping oil. So the last 4 years, 5 years. So, but still things are kind of rough for most of the people.
You've got another book coming up very soon called The Boxer, Fear No Evil. Is that a sequel or is that completely different?
It's not part of my life. That's a novel, but it will be it will be a sequel. It will be a 3-part series, 3 books. The first book, Fear No Evil, that was out on Amazon a couple of days ago, the 20th, and I'm working on the second book, which will be Do No Evil, The Boxer Do No Evil, and then there'll be at least one more after that.
Sounds exciting. Yeah. And in the meantime, this book is of course called The Slippery Road. Where are we able to find that?
It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes and Noble and a few smaller bookstores. But it's out there. It's on Amazon. You can get it there anytime.
Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great to have you here on the show.
It's been nice talking to you too, sir, and I do appreciate it.